How Bizarre is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, we suggest you turn this wacky shit straight off.
I haven't been down to the dam since they remodeled it.
Me neither.
I'm kind of afraid to, because I loved that old dam and it needed some upkeep, but man, I loved that so much of it was frozen in time, like that mid-century.
Our cool
look.
shit when we were kids and we went there. I mean, it still probably has the look. I mean, it probably still has the big old airbrushing of the Indians and the big horses.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the horse painting, they couldn't possibly have painted over that. That would be blasphemy.
Right. But I think a lot of the cool shit they took out, like the Jacob's Ladder thing they had.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. I love that shit. I suppose maybe it's not safe, although it was always encased in glass.
Yeah.
All those hands-on wacky things. Yeah, that was my favorite part about going to the dam. It was huge. And then they shrunk it up after 9/11 and made the tours way more compartmentalized. You couldn't get super close to anything that could, if you could put a bomb there, that it would end all of Wenatchee and basically anything else downstream. But the lasting effects of 9/11 are probably impossible to calculate. Chris, you there?
Hi, guys.
How do you?
Oh, it's going okay. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right. We're in triple dig over here. I've got that angry killer sun from Super Mario Brothers 3 happening right outside my window, just with the face of and boy, it is taxing my ACs right now. And Christina was downstairs doing laundry all day, so it's like I tripped. One of my ACs actually tripped at circuit, and I went to go snap it back into place, and I felt the panel. I'm like, ooh, this whole panel is warm. It's like, that can't be good. But I think every 20-pole breaker in the house is being run at max capacity right now. So
can you imagine how like California would be like? You know? Oh, I mean, I guess that's kind of like a little heads up of how California is.
Yeah.
When it's super, super hot out and they're like having blackouts. And
I remember being so surprised the first time I was in LA how muggy it was. And I don't know why that surprised me, because I always, you think palm trees and you think, yeah, hot, but, you think more like desert. But they're right on the ocean, just like Seattle, and it's a very similar thing. In fact, I think the humidity in LA is probably higher on a regular basis than in Seattle, and that surprised me. And unlike Seattle, you're on the Sound, but you're not on the ocean. LA is basically right off the ocean, so it can be, it's one of those heats where you get out of the shower and you're all ready and dressed up to go walk down the Hollywood Boulevard. 3 minutes down the street, you're just pouring sweat again. You're like, wow, that shower was pointless. Chris, are you able to add John Mark? I'm not.
I am trying as we speak.
I don't know why Skype has limited me to 2 or less friends, but I'm glad that we have a workaround.
It's detected your level of technical savvy.
It's like, Ron, this is what you deserve. Choose. You can get a Sophie's Choice every week. Who do you want to be friends with?
I have to be upfront with you guys. I have the worst toothache. I don't think I've ever had one this bad before.
You got an abscess or just like a bad calf?
I have a crown that needs replacing. I went to the dentist last week, and it'd been bothering me for like a month, and I've been putting it off. And finally, I was like, I just fucking need to get in there and do this. And they're like, bad news. That crown we put on 2 years ago needs to be replaced. There's a small cavity at the bottom of it or whatever. And I'm like, great. And they're like, good news. It's still under warranty. So you don't have to pay the fucking price of a crown, which is
that's awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like $1,300 out of pocket,
Thanks.
I was like, that is fucking good news. Fantastic. I was like, well, when can you guys get me in? They're like, with the 18th of July. I mean, and I'm like, okay. I was like, well, it's not so bad right now. That's fine. And then like progressively, like 2 or 3 days after, it just like 40% worse, 40% worse the next day. And now I'm just like, I got home today. I was like, my eyes were fucking smarting as I walked into the house.
Yikes.
I was just like, oh. And I was like, well, we'll see how the podcast goes. I got some Orajel, so if I'm slurring more than average
More
tonight,
than usual.
yeah.
Want some ice cream?
Oh,
Oof.
dude, no. Drinking, even sipping my claw is a fucking chore right now.
Yeah, I got to go room temp claw.
Room temp claw.
I was just
Probably.
telling Ron, I separated my shoulder like 3 days ago.
Oh, man.
It was Saturday. They crashed me in dialysis too, and so they take your blood pressure sitting down, and then they take your blood pressure standing up. Well, I still had these 4-inch needles in my arm, and one of them was attached to a syringe. And as I stood up, it was between the chair cushion and the table beside the chair. And so when I stood up, it caught that, and I kind of put my arm back down. And I think that needle scraped inside. What they call it is called infiltration.
This is the worst podcast ever so far.
Dude.
When
that
needle scraped bone.
If that needle scrapes inside of your vein like that, it'll bleed. And what happens is it pressurizes. You wouldn't think, oh, well, it's a vein, big deal. It's blood inside of it anyway. It's not the case. It actually hurts very fucking painfully because it just kind of inside that vessel becomes pressurized. So it's like you can't move your arm. And that's kind of the shit I've been dealing with. Yeah. I had to smuggle some Vicodin. I'm like,
good for you. Get what you can, man.
Can I get it back?
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping John Mark would be on here. I've got my kid in some headphones because I need to share a story that I don't really want him to hear. But I want to talk about it because I kind of felt like I was immune to this type of thing. And
can you hear my fish tank?
Sorry.
No, I can't.
I got the kid playing Xbox games. He just was like, "Can I please play Paw Patrol, Daddy?" And I'm like, "Of course you can, child." So sweet. Okay, hold on, dude. Fuck.
Is he humming along with you? That's adorable.
All right, here you go, brother. Okay, I want to tell a story about something that happened in my community here last weekend. And I feel comfortable enough telling the story because it's out there. And I think it's a cautionary tale that needs to be heard. I'm going to change names just because. I got a big old fucking sheet of paper in front of me with the made-up name so I can try to remember that.
Yeah, let me know if you fuck up. It's an easy,
I will. I'll
it's
be
an
like,
easy
Ron,
edit.
real edit, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Friday night, I have a couple of friends. Their names are Matt and Amy. And I've known Amy for a really long time. She's in the pinball community here, and known her forever. And Matt, I've known Matt for a couple of years now, and they started dating about a year ago. Matt's a wonderful guy, just kind of the same personality as me. Just wants to pump everyone in the room up. Just a fucking great dude. Amy is just the coolest, sweetest person you've ever met. So I went out Friday night to play pinball. There's 3 spots we go to right down here in Bremerton. And I was at one spot, and pinball tournament went really late, and it was 11 p.m. And I said, I'm just going to go home. I'm tired, fucking tired. I want to get in bed. So I go home and get in bed. When I get up in the morning, I got 5 missed phone calls from my buddy that is manager at one of the other places.
Did you panic already at that point?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So I call him back, and I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's like, where are you right now? And I was like, I'm at home. Where are you? And he's like, I'm at the bar. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, can you get down here? I'm like, it's 7:45 in the morning, dude. And he goes, okay. And he's like, well, what do you got going on? And I was like, I have there's one appointment I have to make at 10 a.m. and I can be there. I'm like, what's happening? And he goes, all I can really say is that Matt and Amy both collapsed on the floor of the bar last night. And we don't know what's happened. We don't know their status. We don't know what's going on. But I got a detective coming here, and I could use some help. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, well, I can be there at 10:30. I'll be right over. So that was between 7. It was 3-hour difference, right? So I'm rolling in at 10:30, and I walk into that bar, and it's him and his wife and the owner of the bar, or the operator, one of the managers, great guy. And they're fucking looking kind of downtrodden. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And he starts asking me, questions before he gives me answers. And he's clearly my friend is fucked up. He's not his normal self. And I'm like, what's happening, man? And he goes, I just need to ask you, do you think that it's possible that Matt and Amy were doing coke ever? He's like, do you ever see that stuff? And I was like, no, I don't ever see it, but I know it happens. Like, I hear about it, like, I'm not a fucking idiot. I was like, why is this pertinent? And he goes, well, I just talked to a detective and they want to talk to anyone that knows anything about this. And I was like, man, I can't be like a help to this. I don't know anything about that. And he goes, Matt's fucking dead, Christopher. And I'm like, oh my God, like that was the first fucking time I'd heard what had happened.
Yikes.
So my friend OD'd on cocaine that was laced with fentanyl at the bar. And then right after that, Amy went down. And Amy was in the hospital for 3 days and is recovering at home now, kind of trying to piece things together and figure this out. But it just felt so fucking unreal, because if you don't think you have friends out there that are doing coke, you're stupid. I think it's a huge deal right now.
It is.
And it's just so goddamn scary. They both just got fentanyl laced coke, and it almost killed them both. And Matt's gone now. And yeah.
Well, Jesus. Yeah, you texted us this. I think that it must have been, of course, the day that you found out about it. I didn't know anything to say other than I'm really sorry. I don't really know anything to say except I'm really sorry. This whole thing is, that's a surreal and. So where do you think you are with it right now in terms of you've experienced loss, you've experienced death. This is a very strange one. This is a very peculiar thing to deal with. You coming to terms with it okay?
I am. I had my moment of shock, and the best thing about what's happened.
Well, the whole way you found out.
It's fucking crazy the way he did that, but he was not himself.
Of course.
And we both just got drunk after that, and you know what?
Both of it's fair. It's fair for you to be pissed that that's how you found out, and it's fair that he was in his own state. Yeah,
and the neatest thing happened that day though. One of the other bars that I said there's 3 places, and I'm trying not to name drop because it's all very touchy and complicated. They both remain closed. It was Saturday, so that's a big deal when they, that's their money-making day. The bars were closed that day. They just closed up. But one of them opened up for friends of Matt and Amy to come and talk and mourn and, like, share stories. Wow. And I wasn't sure if I was going to go and do that. I didn't feel like doing that, but I did. I went down for 3 hours, and I cried with people. I fucking told great stories of Matt. I mean, I was going to go to Vegas with this guy in 6 weeks. It was for his birthday.
Wow,
we were working on I'm just like, so it was really fucking cool to do that. It felt like a really instant wake where it was not official, and everyone came out, and I don't know, it was so bizarre. The community rally, there was 45 people there when I was there.
That's all you can do is just get together, and it doesn't matter what you say, or the stories, whatever you share, you're just all in that space, and there's no other life experience like it. And you can't really even say why this is a healing thing, but it's important. And I really feel terrible for the people that have to go through things where they don't have that sort of support group. I agree. They don't have that community, and that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and being at home by myself, just thinking about it was awful feeling. And the second I got there, it was like, it wasn't a good time, but it felt good to be able to, grieve in that way. And I think that's why I feel so fucking balanced about it. Like, I hate that it happened, and I'm still a little bit shook about it, but getting to hear about him and all the things that were amazing in his life, and knowing that Amy's going to be okay was a big deal for me too.
So she's still in the hospital.
She just got out. She just got out. She just got home today. So.
That poor girl. I mean, okay, you go through that. Whatever she was aware of as she was collapsing. First of all, you got to come to, realize you're in a hospital, realize what's going on, and then at some point, they're going to tell you.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Fucking crazy, man. So
me and Ron have a friend named, and that's how he died. He died from doing coke, and then he did an 8-ball that apparently snorted heroin.
Yeah, I had another guy, a radar station regular, drop dead from some. I don't know the details, but it was fentanyl, and that's kind of what I was like. That's what happens. There's no warning. It seems like with this shit, it's just you just drop.
Yeah, you can get fentanyl test strips, and that's what everyone's encouraging right now. You can test your shit before you do it and make sure there's nothing in there that's going to fuck you up like this. Like, I honestly, like, we've talked about, yeah, it's a big deal. I think you can get them on fucking Amazon. But, like, we've talked ad nauseum about drug use. I've never done coke, and it's not something until very recently, I've been curious about it, and I've never done it. And like I said, I've never seen it around, but I hear people talking about it a lot within my community. People like that I love and trust, and I'm like, that's fucking interesting. Like, what an interesting experience that might be.
Yeah,
but it's horrible.
It sounds awful.
With what we're just talking about. Long time, because I used to smoke a lot of weed, and at the time I didn't have any, and I couldn't find any at all, and I was up at his house, and he just got off work, and he goes, "Hey man, I got a bowl, to smoke. We can smoke it. That's cool, but I got to tell you that it's laced with coke, and it's up to you, but I get first hit." And I said, "That's fine," and I took a couple pulls off of it, and it was horrible, man. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, you took it?
Like,
you did smoke it?
Oh yeah. It was grinding my teeth at night. I went home, but then I couldn't sleep, and I was like up grinding my teeth till like fucking, I don't know, probably 5:30 in the morning. It was horrible. It was not a horrible fun time.
Ronster, you ever done coke?
No, I've never been anywhere near being attracted to uppers in general, but no. By the time I was of age, I had already seen in my own family and my own circle of friends, I was seeing it. There was a very brief coke phase for a while in the late 80s in my circle. Then that immediately shifted into meth, and suddenly all anyone was doing was meth. I was never attracted to either one of those drugs. In my mind, I know they're different, but in my mind, it's hard to separate the two, and meth just ruined so many of my friends. Jesus Christ. I mean, ruined. And so I just never, I never felt drawn toward it. And yeah, the fact that you don't really know what you're even ingesting is fucking terrifying. And, I don't know how the logistics would work. I don't know how any of it would come together, but I have always, for years, I've been a proponent of legalizing, regulating these harder drugs that people are fucking doing. And I know it's a very controversial topic, but Jesus Christ, the fentanyl thing is just, it's everywhere right now. It's in coke, it's in ecstasy, I'm hearing so many crazy OD stories about fentanyl, and most of it is they just drop dead. And it's like, is that what we want? And I know a lot of people are out there thinking, well, don't fucking do drugs. And it's like, how about join the real world for a minute, first of all, and understand that people are going to do certain things. Now, I think looking at pot, I mean, let's just take the simple little fucking herb. Just not that long ago, but certainly back in the day, if you wanted pot, and you didn't just happen to know a guy who always seems to have pot, you had to go, certainly back in the day, you had to go out and deal with very potentially shady folk. and you got what you got. It's not like what are you going to do? Talk to the manager? I promise you don't want to talk to the drug dealer's manager. And sometimes you'd roll up a J, you take a couple of hits, and it's like, wow, this is half oregano. And that actually happened. And it was like, you don't have to worry about that now. You can go to this store, and there's going to be some quality control. They've dialed this shit in. There's regulation. For anyone that doesn't live obviously I don't know how it works abroad, but in the States, at least in Washington State, the liquor board branched out to being the Liquor and Cannabis Board. So for about a 2-year period, they were starting to figure out pot. And they were coming up with all the regulations, coming up with all the permits, and treating it a lot like alcohol. And suddenly we have, so there's regulation. There's very stiff penalties for fucking about with your shit. There's regular testing. There's regular inspections, just like if you're running a bar, probably even more strict, I would imagine. It's certainly in these days because it's all new. If you're fucking about with shit and you're, not following all the rules and the regulations and labeling things clearly and being upfront about everything that you're putting into your stuff, you are going to be shut down pretty swiftly. Isn't that way better than what it was just 10 years ago, where you had to know a dude or you had to go talk to some sketchy folks and get what you get? And even back in the day, I remember people getting super sick off of smoking joints because it was either laced with something or cut with something, and you don't know what you're getting on the black market. And it's like, you can live in your idyllic world of let's just stop doing drugs. That worked really well for the Nancy Reagan approach, the war on drugs. How are we doing on that, by the way, folks? Yeah. Like, I am a big proponent of understanding that we are people and we are going to do certain things. And you saying, nope, doesn't change that. Those things are still going to be done, but do we want them to be done safely? And again, regulated. Does it sound familiar? About some major hot topics going on right now in the country. But we still have this old school notion, super puritanical base, by the way, this old school notion that, no, all we have to say is nope. Can't do that. Laws, jail time, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't fucking work. And you have not only made it not stop, you have created this dangerous black market. You've created this world where the only place you can get these things is a shady and a world with zero scruples. Obviously, they don't care if you drop dead on a bar floor. They don't care. They got your money, on to the next one. If you come back for more, great. If not, they got more clients. That's a horrible market. And I feel like, again, I don't know the logistics. I don't know how any of it could work. And I know the thought of being able to legally buy heroin and cocaine freaks a lot of people out. It freaks me out on some level. But if you knew what you were getting, then you're just kind of down to your own devices. We know what we're getting when we buy a bottle of whiskey. Well, that bottle of whiskey can kill you. Treat it the same fucking way, and you're on your own devices there. But at least we're taking out not only the element of the black market, which is a horrible and thriving community because of these laws, but you are taking out the guesswork and the likelihood of something like this taking you out. Because more and more when I hear about somebody ODing, they are not ODing on cocaine. They're not ODing on ecstasy. They're ODing on fentanyl or some other bullshit that has been hidden inside of it. That's an interesting thought and something that I don't think the nope people are taking into consideration. I don't know. Maybe these people just don't care, and it's all just politics, and one hand, washes the other hand, and all the usual bullshit. But I feel like if we genuinely care about human beings, we aren't doing a smart and grand job of proving that with how we're handling drugs. And I know there's nothing, it's really hard to compare marijuana to cocaine. I'm only comparing it in terms of, well, this one thing right over here, this bag of that stuff could have put you in prison 10 years ago. Now, you can buy it at a store. And I think we could do that on a large scale, and I'm sure it would have to be somewhat different if we're talking about, heroin and cocaine. I don't know. It just seems like this is not getting better. And, if you want to think in the perfect world scenario, yeah, we'd all like to think that you can get scared straight. But the bottom line is there are always going to be, especially kids, when they haven't really fully developed that ability to just walk away from peer pressure, which is a huge thing in the drug world that we don't often talk about because we're all adults now. That's still a thing when you're an adult, but when you're a kid, peer pressure is some pretty heavy shit and pretty effective in a lot of ways. You know, at the very fucking least, maybe they could get their hands on something that at least they know what's in it. At least they know what they're dealing with. They could still drop dead from a heart attack from a cocaine overdose. I get that. But I'm hearing so much about this fentanyl shit. And why is fentanyl on everything now? I don't know why that's a thing.
I'm not sure if it's something they cut it with. I think it also makes it more effective for some people, like at the highest grader. That's what I've been reading.
It's called Jason the Dragon.
Well, on that note,
higher and higher. That's why they put PCP in pot.
Well, this is why you know a lot of the reasons why people overdose on heroin isn't necessarily because they took more than they usually do. It's because they got a much stronger batch than the last 6 batches that they had. That's what I'm talking about. Like, regulation could cut down on so many of these deaths. Mm-hmm. And I hear all the people saying, well, now you're going to have heroin in a store. Isn't that going to make heroin use skyrocket? I don't know. I don't feel like knowing that this shit is available in a store all of a sudden makes a non-Coke user into a Coke user. I don't feel like that's how we usually work. But I don't know.
Hello?
Hey there.
Oh,
hi.
We cut out?
Well, I've been trying to talk this whole time, and it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, I saw you were muted.
I was doing, I unmuted it, and it still wouldn't let you hear me.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, John Mark. The Skype Lords. It only gives me 2
Skype
friends,
Lords.
And it only gives you so many words.
No, I was reading an article on the way home about that because I was talking to my friend about this, and we were like, well, what the fuck? Why does everything have fucking fentanyl in it now? You know, because it's like, it's not like, even though it's, so the only reason that I could find in just my limited research was it's not like they're actually cutting it to like cut it to make stretch their coke or heroin further. They're lacing it so that it has more of an intense effect because people are like, oh, I'm higher now. This is like whatever. So they don't care. Yeah. So they don't care if they're just like, oh, well, this is going to get people more addicted to it and we'll sell more. If some people die because of it, then who cares? We'll still have customers, right? But it's not about like, they don't give a shit about safety. So it's like they could obviously use the same things that they've been using: baby powder, chalk, fucking baking powder, or whatever. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
But they just, I think it's like to get things more addictive to people. And the article that I was reading was, I think I want to say it was from 2019, but it was kind of like the studies that they were doing were based in Vancouver, BC. And whoever they were talking to was basically saying, basically there's no more heroin in Vancouver. It's like all fentanyl. Yeah. Very interesting. So you think you're getting heroin, but it's fentanyl. And
I don't remember anything before this being quite this Russian roulette-y. You know, that's the thing that that's the thing that we grew up hearing from the say no to drugs thing. But this is like a genuine example of spin the fucking 90s. Revolver and see what happens.
Well, in the 90s we had heroin, and that's how heroin was cut. So, you know, bad. You get into the batch out of Seattle, and you never know what you got, you know?
Yeah, well, like I'm saying, I think most of
Look at every band you know, everybody's died from it.
And, yeah, most of the ones that died from it is because when they tested the heroin that was in their system or in the needle that was found next to them, they're like, yeah, this is way stronger than the average cut. And it's like, no regulation. We're going to trust fucking drug dealers to regulate your shit as dialed in as a pharmacist? I'm not.
Well, and to what you were saying about uppers and stimulants and too, I never got into them myself either because I know I have an addictive personality. So like I knew that I would probably get addicted to it. So that's why I never touched it, you know? So I stuck to my pot and my...
But to your point, Chris, Coke is everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was a little naive to that until probably, mid-radar station days. Not that I was seeing a lot of it going on at radar. It just, I was getting more plugged into the community. And I found myself at parties where they were just started cutting lines on the counter. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's a party, isn't it?" It wasn't. That wasn't happening at the parties I was going to, not for a long time. And then all of a sudden, there it was. And I'm like, is this 1987? Like, I feel like this is how it used to be. And then, yeah, everyone started doing meth.
Everything's cyclical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, everything's coming back in the 80s. But yeah, Coke got, at least in my neck of the woods, it got pretty popular for a while, a few years ago.
Back in the 90s, I remember one time I was jamming with a friend of mine, and his parents were actually bikers. And his older brother, we're sitting there, writing tunes and whatnot, and his older brother goes, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" And he walks into this room, and I swear to shit you God not. It was just this huge platter.
Swear to shit you God not.
This big old silver platter that's probably like 16 inches long, 8 inches wide.
Yeah.
Full of fucking Coke, dude.
God.
Full
like
as
Scarface
a pyramid,
shit.
As a pyramid full of Coke. I mean, it wasn't just like the tray was full. It was literally stacked, like 6 inches tall. Big old pile of Coke. He was cutting it. I was like, wow. Yeah. But we just kind of maintained jam, and my buddy goes,
just pretend we didn't see that.
Exactly. He was just trying to show off.
Well, I'm curious about how the owners of the bar are doing, because
they're just sad. They're sad it happened. I mean, these people are loved in the community.
Man.
So they were closed for a few days, and they're just working with detectives to try to get any information they can to help figure out where this came from and stuff. So, but it just sucks. It is what it is. But just a wild, eye-opening weekend, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, we
sorry
do have a
you
guest.
were right in the midst of it.
Yeah, man, I was almost down there when it happened. I'm glad I wasn't, honestly. I don't know how. I wouldn't have been any help, and I just would have fucking scarred.
Well,
I would assume that like whoever gave him the drugs would be under sod of the law.
Oh, that's interesting.
Manslaughter.
They must. Ooh.
They're
looking. I mean, they're investigating.
That's why the detective was asking for names and stuff.
That's scary shit, brother.
It really is. I'm happy to talk to anyone. I don't know shit about that stuff, but
I know.
Yeah. We do have a guest. I told we'd be on in about a half hour for news. Strange, weird trip news.
Okay.
So, what do we got on the agenda, Ronster?
Well, I have a game for y'all, and I think we could use a palate cleanser. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you shared that, and I know that couldn't be easy to share, and I hope everyone involved with that. I wish them I don't know what to wish them. I just dealing with something like that is it's a life. It can be a life altering thing. I mean, I'm sure that it will be. So I really am thinking, my thoughts are with Amy and moving forward. But anyway, be safe out there, folks. And for the love of God, if you are going to do this stuff, I don't know that I was aware of these testing strips. That's the world we're in. Get them. Get them. Do your shit if you're gonna do your shit. But we got to be careful now. That's scary. But I do have a game, and so what time exactly did you tell the guest that we'd be on? Like 7:30.
I said 7:15, 7:20, but I can always I message our guest, and they're very flexible.
I think that'll be good. I do have. I'm excited to get to this. So if we have time at the end of the show, we might shoot the shit about a little strange say it properly. Stranger Things. If not, we'll save that for the next episode. But we'll push it to the end in case, because we'll probably be talking some spoilery stuff, whether that's this episode or the next episode. But in honor of that, I was thinking, I don't have a whole lot of time to do some research for any stories today, so why don't we do a round of Eliminaysh? And we have circled all around this category, but I thought in honor of Stranger Things, I wanted to find Ranker or one of those other websites. I think I did settle on Ranker. The most popular... I was looking for adventure movies of the 1980s, but I wasn't finding anything that came up. This... To be technical, is Ranker's 100 best kids movies of the 1980s. But as I was scrolling through the top 20 for sure, I'm like, this is the list I was looking for. So I will say not all of them are adventure movies, but I would say maybe more family movies, not necessarily kids movies. I don't want you guys to be thinking like only cartoons or young movies. I want
like
you
PG-13.
thinking the shit that we grew up watching. That looking back on now, some of it was pretty gnarly. But Stranger Things, I hear a lot of people saying that they watch Stranger Things with the kids. That kind of blows my mind because Stranger Things is more gnarly than there are some things, even on this list, that, you can think of a couple of scenes. But Stranger Things, the entire premise is pretty fucking gnarly. And we talked about what was happening to most of the death victims in this last season. You could not say in modern times that Stranger Things is for kids, and yet.
Well, no, but I don't know. Genres change so much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like in our day,
so do our sensibilities.
Well, in our days of Stranger Things, it would have been the guy's sitting there, and he's like, I'll give you the Johnny Depp version of it. He's in his bed, and all of a sudden claws come out of his bed, and the screen goes to red, and then you turn it on, to a different segment where his girlfriend's walking down the street. You know what I mean? It's like the dude dies, but like it's tamely calmed. What I've noticed oh crap, now I feel like we're talking about Stranger Things, but the way they do it, they make it more of a storyline within their deaths. If that makes sense, like a 10-minute,
Well,
their version of why they're dying, and
yeah,
they draw it out. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Well, anyway, think of it along those lines. But family movie, classic family movies of the 1980s. Now, this is voted by Ranker, over 40,000 votes, and I gotta say there are a couple here that I feel should be higher on the list, but it's kind of like splitting hairs, and it really just shows you how spoiled we were in the 80s, honestly, because I don't think there's anything here that could really upset anybody in terms of picks. So with that said, we're going to go for the top 20. Number 20 is worth 1. Number 1 is worth 20. And we're going to start with Lyle. After that little analyzing, you should be all prepped and ready to go. You get first crack. Number 1 is on the board.
We should probably get John Mark on this because he can't talk.
Happy to talk about... Oh, okay. I think he's there. He's just sending us some sidebar stuff.
I'm going to go with a favorite movie of mine of the 80s, which was always a pretty good one. I think it lasted fairly well in the movie theaters at the time. But I'm going to go with Hey You Guys, Little Goonies.
Oh, no. I wondered if it would come down to who was asking first, because I got a feeling you guys all might have gone with Goonies first, but I could be wrong.
Like
Goonies, number fucking 1 right off the bat with a solid 20 points.
Fucking
what is the list that we're doing?
The top. This is the top 20 out of the top 100 family movies or kids movies from the 80s, but family adventure movies I think is a safer bet. But Goonies is pretty representative of where we're going with this list, I think. And I absolutely have zero problem with the Goonies up on number 1 there.
Can I just say I just pulled a John Mark, guys.
How so?
Yeah. It was a swish. It was a big old swish.
That was a swish. All right, Chris. Number 2 still on the board.
I'm gonna go with The Never-Ending Story.
Never-Ending Story is right there in the middle at number 10. Gives you 11 points. Now, again, that's one that I thought, that's kind of like the mother of 80s movies.
Quintessential.
But when you see the other ones, you can't really complain. But you're in it. John Mark, Wide Open.
So is this how they're ranked by people liking them or box office?
They just voted. No.
Voted?
All we're going by is popularity in 40,000 people. And this is an updated list. Unlike some of the ones that we've done, this is an ongoing list. I don't think that really matters, but I can just tell you that this is a good list, solid list. I think you guys will do great here.
How about The Princess Bride?
Princess Bride. Now, see, that is number 9, and I feel like that should be a little bit higher. But again, we're just fucking spoiled in the 80s, man. So many solid ones. But that's a good guess. And God, what if... I think The Princess Bride, quite honestly, is a perfect movie. You can't pick it apart. And there's, to this day, there's still really nothing quite like it, you know? It's just, it's got everything. Okay, so 20 to 11 to 12. Anybody's game still, and we have 4 of the top 5. Lyle, you going to do another swish for number 2?
I think I might. It was a role that old Val Kilmer did. We're talking about a little weird science, guys. No, that was wrong.
Don't remember old Val in Weird Science, but could have had a bit part.
I was thinking of him in a different one where he was like a scientist. But,
that was what was that called?
I know, right?
Something Genius.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Genius.
Real Genius,
with the popcorn. That's a good movie. Yeah. All right, so take another. I guess Weird Science was your guess, huh?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate for you. No, that's not a terrible guess, but that is not on the top 20. I bet that's in the top 30. All right, Chris, big opportunity now for you to pull ahead with number 2 or even number 5.
I'm going to go with the movie that I loved as a kid that totally caught me off guard, and that's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Interesting. I wasn't sure any of you would guess that, but that is number 4.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Which is worth 17, and that puts you in the lead with 28.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like out of all the last ones that we've done, this one has the most potential to be very close. All right, John Mark. Don't get squirrely, though. John Mark's guesses sometimes... Most of the time you guys struggle with this is you lose track of what decade we're talking about by a few years maybe. But these are all pretty solid. Can't miss it being in the 80s movies.
How about Labyrinth?
Oh, good guess.
Oh, that is a great guess, and not on the top 20.
Wow.
I think it was like top 22 or 23, something like that.
You just did me huge. You just did me a huge favor, John Mark. Thanks, buddy.
Ridiculous.
Oh, we gonna guess that next, Chris?
Oh, well, yeah, that was definitely on my list.
Great guess, and yeah, that's. I would definitely swap a couple of these out for Labyrinth. Absolutely. All right, John Mark. Oh no, sorry, Lyle.
Let me see if we can do this. It goes something like I had dialysis today, so my voice is a little fucked up.
Sounds great on this end.
It goes, how's it go? It goes, well, son, we named the dog Indy.
You gotta be specific here.
You do need to be specific.
The first one.
Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah.
The 70s flick, bro.
No, that was the 80s. And that is number 5.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's good. So that puts Lyle back on top, not by a whole lot, but 36 to Christopher's 28. John Mark, you're going to need some making up here real quick to stay in it at 12. But Christopher, you have 2 and 3 still in the top 5, and they're pretty big ones.
God, I'm really. Are there any cartoons? Are there cartoons on this list?
I don't think there are. No.
Good to
That's
know.
why I tried to steer you away from what kids movies is kind of iffy here and there, but you know, Goonies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, those were our kids movies.
I don't know if this is too dark to be considered a family movie, but I'm gonna go with Beetlejuice.
Ooh, good guess. Number 6.
Yes.
15 points. That puts you back on top with 43. All right, John Mark, you got to get number 2 or number 3 here. You can do this. These are 2 of the biggest movies of the 1980s. I mean, obviously.
What about E.T.?
Oh, that was you son of a bitch.
You know, E.T. is there, but way lower than I would have expected. And my only guess is that E.T. was like, 81, 82? That was really early.
Yeah.
And yet you can't unconnect it to the 80s. But it was there, number 14 for 7 points, so that puts you at 19. You're not out of it yet, but you still you better hope that you get a couple whiffs here from Lyle and Christopher.
You know what it is?
What is it?
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Oh.
Bustin'.
Oh boy, about to get interesting here.
Ghost.
Number 3.
Oh.
Ghost motherfucking Busters.
Wow.
18 points.
I
You
watched
bastard.
I watched that in the theater like over 60 times. My sister worked at my older sister, which I don't even talk to anymore.
Yeah, I've never even met her.
Yeah, she used to work at the Columbia Cinema, and so like she would babysit us, I guess, and just throw us in a movie theater and watch a movie.
It's not a bad way to go.
It wasn't that bad at all. I got free nachos and pop.
Mm-hmm. How many movies Lyle and I saw together over the years? This was later on, of course, but.
Of course.
Okay, God, Lyle, you're kicking ass. 53, but Chris is only 10 behind, and we still have number 2. You guys are going to get this movie. It's just a question of who's going to get it. So, Chris?
I'm going to go with the sequel here to one already said, but Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Well, it was just off the top
Damn it.
20. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a big break for John Mark. You got 19. If you get number 2, you're in good shape again.
About Gremlins.
Gremlins. Not number 2, but you're inching your way there. That is number 12, which is good for 9 points, which puts you at, let's see, 28. All right, so it's 53 to 43 to 28. And looking at the clock and looking at the list, I think you definitely still have a chance here.
Ralph Macchio better not screw me on this one.
Oh.
Did you say Ralph Macchio?
I was thinking about Nacho still, dude.
Ralph Macchio.
How about the little Karate Kid?
Karate Kid. Lyle continues his reign. That is number 8. And that gives you another 13, which takes you to 76. High scoring game already here. But Chris,
hot tamales in those nachos.
Number 2. Number 2 is right there in front of you, and you're going to slap your own face when you hear someone else get it if you don't get it.
I don't want to slap my own face, Ron.
I don't want you to either.
My tooth is already...
I was just going to say, your face has already had a rough week.
I don't know what it is, this low-hanging fruit you're putting in front of my face, but I'm going to go with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
No, not on the top 20. And now, John Mark definitely has a chance to get back in the run-ins, and especially if he gets number 2. I don't know if I do. This is so interesting. It's always different when you're playing. I know. I've got the whole list. I'd like to think that this movie would have been one of the first I would have guessed, but I can't swear that it would.
Well, there's just so goddamn many of them, Ron.
I know. Fucking 80s, man.
Loved him.
I wouldn't trade growing up when I did for growing up now for anything. I'm terrified for children now. And all the shit that they have to deal with.
I know that there's a ton of movies in my head, but honestly, the only fucking movie, and this is probably not even on the list, or it's not going to be in the top 20.
I can't wait.
It's definitely not number 2, but Willow.
Oh, it's got to be on there.
That wasn't a terrible guess. It was just off the top 20. I think it was like, again, 21, 23, somewhere in there.
For whatever reason, that's the only fucking movie title that has been able to pull out of the recesses of my brain.
Okay, now maybe expand. Don't think necessarily just in terms of like adventure and fantasy. Maybe expand your horizons. But I mean, you guys are doing good. You're all doing good. Even John Mark stuck in the back. You got 28 points. You've done well. So, but maybe you'll get a couple whiffs and a chance to come back. Christopher certainly can take the lead again, but it's all going to depend on if Lyle gets number 2 here. We may be done. Let's see.
I could burn one on this one.
Okay.
And I say to you, you have a dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. Say it's all.
That's a good one. Good. Well, that's a good guess, but not on the list.
Wow, how's Batman on the list? 89 Batman?
Well, I don't know. Well, it was 89. It was again, I think the ones that may be at the polar extremes of the decade might I can tell you that the bulk of what I'm seeing definitely mid 80s.
Okay. All right. You gave me enough time with that fucking ball slap.
I'm rooting for you.
I gotta go with.
No pun intended with your tooth there.
I gotta go with Return of the Jedi, right?
Oh, I really thought you were gonna get it. No Return of the Jedi. You know, I was thinking about this. I was like, I feel like maybe the only thing that makes sense is maybe
all over again.
Maybe people consider Star Wars to be its own genre. I don't know.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't know. But a kids movie. Remember this? I did frame this. That the list itself is a kids movie. Top 100 kids movies. I don't know if. But that said.
Old young Anakin.
Well, I'm not going to say anymore. Bummer. I really thought you were going to get it.
Me too.
I felt like you were slowly pointing to the stadium, up in the stands, like I'm going to crack the bat and not my own face. But we'll see. The game's still a little young, but we're almost. It's going to depend on who gets number 2. John Mark, you got a huge opportunity right here. You could definitely take second.
Well, it's a huge opportunity, and I'm going to take a Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, boy, you're dancing all around them. You all are. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, not on the list.
Fucking travesty.
I feel like that's kind of relegated to a bit more of the oddballs that truly love that movie. Now, Pee-wee was huge in the 80s. But you got to understand that this list was probably cultivated to begin with like 3 or 4 years ago. And it has its following, but like in the pantheon of all these other... yeah. But I guarantee he was in the top 30. All right.
Whoa.
Lyle, you got a chance again to...
It goes into my childhood and my thinking and my favorite movies. There was a time...
Oh, the Traeger's firing up.
Well, I guess we got to end this. My apartment's burning down.
Well, we're out of time. There's the beep.
We're out of time. Okay, that's done.
I bet so many people listening at home have shouted number 2.
I used to play a lot of video games, and on that video game porch, I would play this one video game where I was a starfighter, and one day I beat that, and aliens came down and took me away. I was the last starfighter.
Well, that was an important movie for the roster, but not on the top 20. No.
Sad.
Yeah, but another huge opportunity. Okay, Chris, take a deep breath. Not too deep. There went too much air passing by that cavity. But
do it like this.
You can do this. I want to see an interesting finish here. I want to give you a hint so bad, but that wouldn't be fair. I haven't given anybody else any hints.
I'm really at a loss. I'm going to go Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I personally think this is the biggest movie of the 1980s, but that's just me. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I think was that the 90s? I think that might have been the 90s.
I think it was 80s.
It could have been, I guess that was about, seems like that was around Batman. Either way, no Roger Rabbit
God damn it.
on this here list.
Okay.
All right, well, let's see. Let's give it a couple more tries here. This is going quick. John Mark?
All right.
You can pull a miracle here. Number 2.
For my next guess,
I can already tell you're not going to do it.
To the future.
Oh, shit, son.
Damn.
I was certain you were going to whiff it again. Back to the Future. Now, tell me that's not the biggest movie of the 1980s. It's up
It's
there.
hands down one of the biggest movies of the 80s.
It's pretty fucking big, yeah.
Okay, number 2. Let's do the math here. That is worth 19 motherfucking points, of course. So that takes you to...
Oh, no.
Oh, I guess you were... Wait, that can't be right. All right.
Take my...
Well, I had 28, right?
28. 28 plus 19 is 47, is that right?
I think so.
For some reason, I thought if you got number 2, you'd be right back in it.
Not quite.
you're ahead of Chris. So now we're gonna do one more round to see. Lyle cannot be caught. But let's do one more round for second. And I'm gonna give you a couple clues because we got our winner. I'm gonna say that number 7, the next highest one, is not what most people would consider a kids movie, but it is in the same vein as The Goonies, but a little bit darker. One of my favorite movies from the 80s, absolutely.
Oh, I know what it is.
Give it to me.
Dark Crystal.
That's in the same vein as The Goonies?
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody guessed Dark Crystal, but I'm also surprised that's not on the...
What about
I think a lot of families were terrified to show that to their kids.
What about Tom Cruise in that one movie?
Legend?
Legend.
Yeah, Legend. There you go.
No. But let's let Chris take one. Let's give Chris and Jean-Marc one more pass here. This is a race for last at this point.
Sure.
I really don't. I'm so out of fucking. I'm bereft of movies. I'm gonna go on American Tail, even though you said there's no animated ones.
No American Tail. Jean-Marc, did my clue register with you?
Well, it did, but I don't know if it registered correctly. Did that key fit in this hole? We don't know. But I'm going to say Lost Boys.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Lost Boys is a horror movie, so.
Well, you said like Goonies, but darker. That's fucking
Well,
what Lost Boys is.
To your point,
I'm going to go with Faces of Death. Was that on that family-friendly list?
Well, to your point, the movie I was trying to push you toward was written by the most famous horror writer of all time.
Oh.
Shout it out.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Wait. That's not a kid's movie either, dude.
It's kind of a coming of age.
I watched it when I was a kid. I loved the shit out of it. It's about kids out on an adventure. I don't think it's rated R.
I'm gonna look it up.
I didn't think.
It could be for language, I guess. You only see like one body.
It's because leeches on the wieners.
Oh, the leeches on the wiener. Yeah, Wesley pulling wasn't it him?
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Will's Wheaton had a leech on it.
Leechy on it.
That's such a good fucking movie. I love that movie. Maybe I could see PG-13, but I don't know. All of us kids were watching it. We owned that, and my family was fine with it. I'd be surprised if it was not PG-13. Anyway, let's go.
I had a really hard time finding the rating of it, honestly.
Interesting. Well, quick.
Rated R.
No shit.
Rated R star.
Huh. Well, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Well, you were right about that, but wrong about your overall answer. And Lyle kicked ass tonight. 76 motherfucking points.
Number one. One.
It just knows. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now you got to game it. Got to game the machine. Okay, real quick. Here's what you guys missed. 20. I thought this was interesting. Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah,
I thought that was a box office flop.
It was a fucking huge flop.
Friendly movie.
I guess it's just left afterwards.
Oh well, that was I bet that was PG-13. They definitely
It for sure was.
That was like an adventure family-ish movie, but
I fucking love that movie.
It's so good. It holds up too in a quirky way. Number 19, the only Star Wars picture. You guys want to you got to know which one it is.
Star Wars.
Even though it's the least, I think, child-friendly one.
Empire.
Empire Strikes Back. 19. 18. Chris, you guessed the wrong Indiana Jones sequel. The other one was on there. It was only 3 points, but The Last Crusade is number 18.
Oh, I thought that didn't Lyle say that? No, I must be. Oh, he said the first one. That's right.
He quoted The Last Crusade,
quoted
but
the third one. Yeah,
yeah, he did the old Lyle switcheroo.
Penitent man.
Number 17, Adventures in
poorly.
Babysitting.
Chose poorly.
Now, see, I would gleefully trade Adventures in Babysitting with at least Labyrinth or Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Number 16, Batteries Not Included.
Oh, wow. I remember that movie.
Yeah. 15 is a classic in my book, Short Circuit. I loved that fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Number 14 was E.T. Number 13, Uncle Buck.
With
Yeah,
love that.
beloved John Candy. Number 12 was Gremlins. Number 11 was Back to the Future Part Deuce.
Oh, that was a great flick, yeah.
And then Neverending Story, Princess Bride, Karate Kid, Stand By Me, Beetlejuice, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, and Goonies, which you guys
Great
all
list.
got.
That's a good list.
Yeah, it was a solid one. I felt.
I agree with most of this.
Yeah, same.
There's no George Clooney calamity on this one.
No, we have no George Clooney calamity. I saw George Clooney Calamity open for the Meat Bodies, which, by the way, my friend Jody's band is opening up for in Bellingham. Do you see that, John Mark? You're a Meat Bodies fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
I would love to be able to go up and see that, but it's this week, and I just don't think so. Well, quick pee break, and back for some weird triv.
Into it.
All right.
2 and 2. Lyle, our guest, wanted you to do a special thing for their name, like one of your echo things. So when I announce them, feel free to do a little voice thing for them.
What is it?
Our guest wanted you to do something special for their name.
Yeah, what's the name?
You'll hear. Just be ready.
Figure it out.
Be ready. Just be ready, baby. Okay.
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
I'm pumped up.
It's a surprise. Surprise.
Super ready.
That was really good. And you even got a little tinny there. Oh, dear. Make my pooper quiver. That's kind of satisfying, almost in an ASMR sort of way.
What's that? The Beastie Boys song. How's it go?
Intergalactic,
planetary, intergalactic.
It's pretty good.
I think about it.
I have to listen to some Beastie Boys.
It's
been a while. Got to listen to some of those Beastie Boys. I got to fight for the right to party, after all.
You do.
All right. We all set here?
Try this again.
Space Pirates is another one that I would put in the... wait, is it Space Pirates or Ice Pirates?
No, Ice Pirates.
Butt Pirates. Probably what you're thinking.
That's the porno for sure.
I have enjoyed
Ladies and
Butt
gentlemen,
Pirates.
Please welcome to the show for the second time, or maybe third time, our Ben.
Ben, and we can see him.
Ben.
And he's nude.
I love that Ben always comes on. He turns his camera on, like the rest of us sloths don't. Even
Ben.
Oh, I don't even know how to use Skype. That's why. I love it, Lyle. Thank you.
Wow, that's a keeper right there.
The guest intro.
Good.
Well, good to see you, quite literally, Ben. And glad to have you on board. And we're going to see how did you do last time when you were on the show?
Tied for dead last.
It wasn't well. That's okay. It was harder than it looks.
Well, you've had more time to practice.
I've had more time to listen to how well John Mark does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now the question is, are you going to go rogue and go against John Mark like Sarah did? Oh, she paid the price.
The one thing that threw me off last time was Ron was on his winning streak, and of course, I infamously used to give him the nickname of Whiskey Ron because
you and many women.
Hey, I'm whiskey trained, if you know what I'm saying.
Is that better than kennel trained?
Well, for me it is. I got a clicker. Down. So, I tease. Finish your thought, though, Ben.
Oh, I had a thought?
Maybe not. Well, okay. Well, we'll see how you do this time. It's always a crapshoot. But yeah, it is confusing when the roster goes on a winning streak. Everyone accepts when Lyle hits a few, and of course John Mark is the all-time reigning champion. Mm-hmm. But when the roster has a few, yeah, anything goes. But it's a new board tonight, so we shall see what the bastard Christopher F. Hart has cooked up for us again.
Well, I can't really start unless,
Intro.
Motherfucker. Okay, how long have we been doing this now? I don't even have it started. Okay.
Episode 90s. No, I don't know what it is. 90-something, right?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, and I never have this fucking thing. I'm so out of shape with it that I can't even remember how to pull it up. But I'm going to put in a keyword here.
No.
See Sasquatch?
You can just sing it again. That was great. I love the.
I don't want to. I don't want that to get old. That should be a special treat. That you get the live version of it. Mm-hmm.
Live and unplugged.
Okay, this might do. No, it doesn't do it. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. What's everyone been watching?
So, Whiskey Ron stems from, I think, one of the first times when you guys were playing on behalf of fans, and you played on behalf of me, but halfway through the quiz, you couldn't keep track. Later on, admittedly, you won on my behalf, and I think that's where you guys started the moniker of Our Ben. So I appreciate that. Yes, and of course, that is the painting you're still digging out of the closet to send to me at some point.
Dude, here's the good news. I have so many paintings for you to choose from. I will make that happen.
At this point, I'm more excited about commissioning you for those signs.
I am ready to do. You want me to do a? There's a couple. The Dick's Burgers, famous Seattle Dick's Burgers. That one's going to be easy. The other one is going to be more of a challenge, but I think more satisfying for me to do because those. And what was it?
Spud's Fish and Chips. Yeah.
Spud's Fish and Chips, and it's got those block letters. I recently did a sign like that, and making those walls out of cardboard is real tricky, or like super, it's like card stock. But I'm up for the challenge. That one will have to be a bigger one because you can't do those in like smaller letters, so that will be a sizable one. But I'm up for the challenge, and I will have a painting for you, and you will be able to choose from them. I have been creating art like a motherfucker. I sell most of it as I go, but there's always a few orphans I put in the closet, and then when I'm looking at mortgage like I am right now, you'll see me posting a few paintings. Okay, I got the theme here. Y'all ready for me to hit the button and let the iPhone simply go to 6 more menus? All right, let's rock.
It's Werid Trivia with Christopher F. Hahn. Florida, who thinks we're shit in nature? Don't get me started on the goddamn brown hair. It's Werid Trivia that might get Christopher fired.
Or all of us in jail. All right. Now we can proceed.
Let's
Sorry about that.
do this. 4 questions, usual order. Ben, you'll go last, so you can have the benefit of listening to these morons go first.
Sweet caboose.
In my stupid little game. All right. Question 1. According to a study done by the security firm Symantec, you are actually 3 times more likely to get a computer virus visiting this type of website than if you visited a pornography website. Again, I have taken Orajel, and I'm more slurry than normal.
Well, it's interesting to hear the word pornography. I haven't heard the full word in so long.
So you're more likely to get a virus from one of these websites threefold than if you were to visit porno sites.
Okay.
What is it? Is it A, anything that ends in a .edu?
Which is typically like a college or university?
Mm-hmm. Educational.
Okay.
Is it B, government websites?
Only child porn.
Is it C, religious websites?
Again, only child porn.
Or is it D, antivirus websites?
Boy, none of the guesses that I immediately had in my head are on here.
Chris, I'm going to go with porn.
Fuck.
3 times more likely to get a virus than a porn site. Ronster.
Oh, this is hilarious and troubling. Well, they're all ironic to some degree. I mean, antiviral is the most ironic, but I'm torn. I think I'm torn between church sites and school sites. Government sites. Man, God. Church might be a
torn
little
between
too
church and state.
Huge opportunity missed. Picked up by John Mark. I'm going to go with the A. I'm going to go with EDU.
Not EDU.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to hypothesize that.
I'm going to go with STD, Chris.
Tell me there's got to be a herpes.std or chlamydia.std.
I bet there's a lot of available URLs that end in .std.
My theory is that maybe these are being hacked into by, I don't know, maybe they're having like students partially run some of these. Or maybe they're just poorly run and they're not secure sites. That's all you would need is to have an unsecure site. Yeah, I'm going to go with EDU.
Okay. John Mark.
I want to say religious websites, but because I think that the antivirus one seems like it's a little too on the nose. But honestly, from what I know about this kind of shit, I'm going to say the antivirus websites.
Okay, I'll put you down for a D.
Oh, you know what I hadn't thought about is shady ones. There are so many of these fly-by-night, like, what the fuck company is that?
Give me your money.
Sure.
You'll be safe. I'm going to protect you. Just give me your money.
From this virus
I signed up to killabug.com. Why am I getting all this spam?
This weird snail.
Good news.
Right.
You're clean as usual.
I feel like the best way, and we were just talking about fishing, but the best way to fish for somebody is you go for the bait they're after. And so, like, antivirus software, I would totally see that being putting viruses on your shit, because then you're forced almost to
It's kind of brilliant.
pay money to get rid of it.
Sure.
Oh.
Okay.
Boy, that's an angle I hadn't thought of either. They purposely install. Look at what we saved you from. Although, would they need a real virus for that? They could just
Good news.
Ding! You're good to go, thanks to us.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be $10,000.
Ben.
You're
Ben. I'm sorry.
You're on mute,
Ben.
just so you know, Ben.
Oh.
And then muted again. And now. There you go. Oh, no, and muted again.
Ron,
there you
edit
go.
this.
There you go. Nope. This is new that Skype tells you when somebody else is. There you go. Don't touch anything.
All right, I'm gonna touch anything. I hate Skype.
Got a
Not
sensitive
used to it.
button, man.
All right, so I was right on the same way as John Mark, and religious was just first notion, but I totally have an antivirus ad that pops up every time I boot my computer and asking for subscription and shit. So antivirus, I'm gonna join the crew.
I'm out on an island.
Okay.
You guys had really good reasons too.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, this question, question 2, is a listener submitted question. So hold on to your butts, Lyle, because this one's worth 2 points.
2 points.
Yes. I like the robot variation on that.
That got weird as hell.
2 points.
I'm bad. Let me turn this
In
on.
the key of D.
Shit got crazy. Man,
Drop the beat.
Yeah, drop it. Thank you to Sarah Ray Shields for emailing this one over to me. Per usual, you can send me your wacky shit.
I have to
Right
give
over
her.
to-
Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted. Go
Okay.
ahead and finish.
It's okay. Right over to christopher.bazaar@gmail.com. Now,
I got to
what
give her
were
a
you
shout out because she is such a badass. I don't know if you guys know, but Sarah is part of the Drysiders Sounders support group. It's a whole bunch of mostly Yakima folk that all pile in. I don't know if they get in a bus and they just all caravan over. And they have a whole section at every local Sounders game. And she is the leader of it. So she's like, you see her on TV all the time, just like, riling up the folk and getting everybody on board. I think that's a pretty badass little position she's got herself in there. So shout out to Sarah Ray Shields. And it was especially hard to keep that enthusiasm going over this last Sounders v. Portland Timbers game. Oof. Those sons of bitches. They're our rival for a reason, but anywho, sorry to interrupt you there, but
It's okay. Sorry, I'm getting another game on for the kiddo here. Here you go, buddy.
enjoy Dark Crystal in 3D. I don't care for this world.
Enjoy Stand By Me. Look at that body.
R-rated. It blows my mind.
Question 2, worth 2 points, guys.
Okay.
Scientists in China believe they have developed a new eco-friendly plastic that can be much less damaging to our environment. One of the key ingredients to this new eco-friendly plastic is this. Is it A, crickets? B, hippopotamus fat?
Hippo fat. All right.
Is it C?
Time we do something with it.
Frog ligaments.
It's about time we did something with that.
Frog ligaments.
Yeah, little jointy ligaments.
All right, okay.
Or is it D? Salmon sperm.
So when you say eco-friendly, not necessarily vegan-friendly, but okay.
We're not eating it.
Again,
I need the question one more. Yeah, go ahead.
Scientists in China, they have developed a new eco-friendly plastic that's going to biodegrade easy, and basically they think it may solve a bunch of our problems. One of the key ingredients to this, though, is one of these things. Is it crickets, hippo fat, frog liggies, or salmon sperm?
Well, don't make me chase the white herring here.
2 points.
Fuck. Well, I'm tempted to go with the only one that is not animal. Well, they're all animal parts. Cricket might be the one that we'd be the least bothered by. Crickets. Frog ligament. I think I'm going to go with A?
Crickets.
Crickets?
You sounds really sure of yourself, Ron.
I'm not sure at all, but I'm trying to think in terms of getting people on board with it. You say, hey, this new biodegradable plastic made from frog. I don't know if we'd have as much success.
Made from salmon jizz. Have a swig.
That I think we would actually have more
taste the mountain.
Acceptability of it.
It's not only good for plastic, but it's good for facials. If you know what I'm
yeah, it's good for the skin.
You got any unhatched eggs? Blasted.
Anyone need any eggs fertilized or plastic? Eco-friendly. I'm gonna eco-friendly your okay, that's too much. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the crickets.
Crickets, okay.
Well, there's good reasons to pick the crickets, and there's good reasons not to pick the crickets. But I'm gonna pick the Jiminy's.
Going with the crickets too.
Right. Upon a star.
All right. You know, when I was a kid, I used to have socks that would stand up by themselves.
I bet you did.
And
I bet you did.
It was almost plastic holding it together.
Do you remember when we went inner tubing or something, and my mom gave you a ride back home, and when we got to your house, I realized that your fucking shoes were sitting on top of the car. Like, they're so big, they just sat there the whole ride down to your house. They never fell off the car. What do you wear, size 13?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was some big trunks. All right. Where are you going now?
I'm going with the slam and the salmon.
Ooh. You going with the sperm?
Yeah, well, I think it would dry out, you know, maybe in like sheets.
Well, sure, eventually.
And then make some kind of, if maybe it was, maybe it's special.
In sheets? Is that what you said?
Yeah, you just like dry it out.
Hey, you like my new sheets? Guess
And
what
then
they're made of?
You just spray it out of the tank.
Yeah. I want to know who's doing the job of getting the sperm, though. You know what I'm saying?
The fish
They make a machine.
jizz
that
mopper.
Call those
jerks the fish
call
off.
those salmon fluffers.
Slamming.
What do you do for a living? Let's not talk about it. Let's just not talk about it.
I posted a meme yesterday, and it was like, human. Oh, salmon. We have a color named after you, and the salmon's like, oh, is it shimmery and blue like my outside? No, it's pink. Why is it pink? Oh God, why is it pink?
That's good.
Well, I'm staying with my answer.
All right. Ben.
I gotta say, I was trying to think of like what's actually available and what you could really make something out of to make a difference. So I'm thinking the carapaces of crickets really kind of. First, I was thinking you'd said what eats plastic, and I was like, oh, salmon sperm, destroys the salmon egg, gets in there. But I'm gonna go with the crickets for ecoplastic.
Oh, suddenly I'm on a more populated island. Liking it. Although it doesn't do me any good if we're all right.
Why don't you just cross your legs and make a little bit of that?
Okay, guys. Question 3. Dolphins. Let's fucking talk about them.
It's about time.
Rapists of the sea, we don't like them.
One of the following statements about dolphins is true. The rest of them I made the fuck up. All right? Question 1. Dolphins sleep with one eye open.
Okay. Smart.
Love your little giggle.
It is smart.
B,
Well,
they
picture
were
that. Is this the long wink or 40 winks?
The long
It's the wink they give you right when you're about ready to go in the pool. One eye open.
It's like, oh, you never want to see the long wink.
Good to see you.
With one eye. Mhm. If I only see you with one eye, I'm not doing anything wrong.
You look incredibly fertile, well, funny you say that. B, they were once publicly known as raping whales.
See, they are.
Okay. No, all right. I've already lost the question.
Okay, one of the following statements about dolphins is true.
Okay.
And the rest of them I made up.
Simple
A
enough.
was they sleep with one eye open. B was they were once publicly known as raping whales. C, they can swim almost 500 miles without stopping to rest.
Okay.
Or
That's easy.
D, they are known for holding grudges and taking revenge.
No. Dolphin never forgets with their one eye.
The one eye, he's out in the middle of the ocean with those whalers, and he's like, "Grr," putting up a fin with one eye.
Mm-hmm.
Sea bastards, I remember.
Well, it's
I
tough.
rem-
I might be tempted to chase down rape whale. Who, by the way, I saw open for Black Flag back in
I thought it was
1984.
Butthole Surfers.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Also, yeah.
All I know is Steve Albini was definitely involved. But we just brought up dolphin activity in the last episode.
Can I ask a question real quick? Who would win in a fight? A
Classic.
dozen raping
Horny.
dolphins or Bigfoot?
Well, how horny is Bigfoot?
Well, is it on land or in the
Exactly.
water?
Bigfoot is on a surfboard wearing fucking shorts and
I
big
saw-
old
Bigfoot is on a
starry
surfboard.
those dark sunglasses.
My favorite album
And
by
he's out
Rape
there
Whale.
chilling.
Someone out there needs to fucking animate this conversation. Like,
Oh God.
He's getting some surf on. He's getting some good waves.
He's
Okay.
got
And then
his
all of a
shades
sudden
on.
he sees all this flock, I guess, a dozen fucking dolphins, and they're all looking at him with one eye.
Sassy is
the
strong
Battle
and
begins.
determined and capable,
Mhm.
but up against a dozen?
Yeah, and he's looking supple.
And they're on
Looking
his
supple
turf?
there.
Surfboard or no? He's on their turf, so I gotta go with the whales on the rape
feel
whales
like it'd
on this
be-
one.
I feel like it'd be one of those red viper situations where he'd get a little, like he'd probably snatch one out of the water and just break it in half, probably fuck it really fast, and the next one jump up, be like, shh, no, and then they just snark him, get cocky.
Yeah.
So you know what would actually happen is it'll go down. So the sassy, he'll be knocking one or two out, and then the rest of the bunch are just going to be raping each other because they're rapists of the sea.
Good thing they can
And
help
so-
themselves.
Oh,
Yeah, so
do
he
they?
just picks them off one at a time.
They must go after each other the way they go
They have
after
to.
people.
It would just be all in a.
There's no consent.
So if a group of flies is a cloud, is a group of dolphins an orgy?
Maybe.
Oh, well, orgy implies consent, Ben.
Rape orgy, on the other hand.
I mean, tell us about your experience if you want. It's
Okay, so Ronster, I'm sorry, what did you end up going with?
I don't know if I did. I think I have to go. I've gone
Let it
2
out.
A's in a row. I can't do a third A.
Possibly.
Can't do a third one eye A. But I'm really enjoying these sleeps with one eye open. Fuck it. I'm going 3 A's back to back to back.
All right.
They sleep with one eye open.
Excellent.
That's where the saying comes from, maybe.
All right. John Mark.
man, some of these sound like things I've heard before, but I can't, verify it in my mind. So I don't. Man, it's tough. I'm gonna go with the 500 miles.
And
I would swim 500 miles.
do it.
500 miles just to be the man who.
I chose poorly.
A dolphin would swim 500 miles to rape you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a love story I don't want to see. Lord. I gotta have to do something with my answer real quick, and it's because I've been wanting to do it for a while. We might get sued, so you might want to, because it's quietly known that King of the Hill, that he got raped by a dolphin. And I'm gonna have to go. God damn it, Bobby! God damn it! Yeah, it doesn't work. I was hoping it would work. But it's King of the Hill. It was awful known that they were rapists.
And I believe the stinger is
damn it, Bobby.
found.
Let me try it
Are you
again.
going with raping whales?
God.
Just let him finish, Chris. It's like a dolphin. It's best just let it finish and swim away.
Just go somewhere else for a minute. And,
Okay, we're done.
all right.
I tried to make comments.
Oh,
That was my kid.
someone's got a dolphin in the background there.
This is awful. All right. Ben.
All right, to spread it around, I'm going to go with holding grudges.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
A lot of animals
can
do.
see
Cats do. I remember the people
they sure
forever. Like, fuck that guy for 12 years.
All right.
Crows, man, those are the ones.
As I was doing some research on fentanyl over the last couple of days, I came across this interesting fact. This famous musician was known for their partying lifestyle and sadly was the first famous person to OD on fentanyl in the United States. Now, I said OD. I didn't say die. I didn't die. Was it A, Janis Joplin?
Oh,
Lord, won't you find me a Mercedes Benz?
Was it C, Scott Weiland?
Did I miss B?
I'm sorry, was it B? Ron,
good catch.
wake up.
Sure.
Oh Lord,
Ron, have a good laugh while you don't edit this out.
Is it B, Scott Weiland?
Okay.
Was it C, Sid Vicious? Or was it D, Eddie Money?
Eddie Money.
God damn it, Chris.
Yeah.
I can't even sing a song. It's too in bad taste. But I have one.
Edit this out.
Wow. I feel like I would know the Sid Vicious one. Janis Joplin is an interesting possible heron. But I gotta go with Scott Weiland only because I don't really know much about his overdose.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how long fentanyl's been around. Could be 50 years, could be 20, 30, I don't know.
So, rubble band.
So that was a B though, right?
That was B.
That was my first B. I'm not feeling good. Thought, well, maybe if A rings true and maybe he did one of these all A things, but no, I'm not feeling that now. I'm going to go Weiland.
Okay.
I don't know what he supposedly OD'd on.
Oh, everything.
But it was OD.
John Mark.
Yeah, I really have no fucking idea. I don't know how long fentanyl's been around. I don't know if Eddie Money's ever actually OD'd on anything.
You gotta know that coming from the 80s, late 70s, 80s, he's done some coke. No fucking question.
For sure.
Sounded like Lyle's remix there.
Dang, I don't know.
Sure.
I was under the impression that Sid OD'd on heroin.
Yeah, but we don't know what it was cut with.
But we don't know. We can't know unless we look it up. But we're not doing that because we're not cheating.
Click, clickety clack, click, clickety clack.
Shit. Wow. I don't know. These. Fuck it. I'll just say Sid Vicious.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I have no idea, so I'll just like play the field, I guess.
Yeah, play it field, baby.
I kind of want to go with Janis just because Oh, the shit that they did in the 60s, my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Jimi Hendrix used to fucking get all high on fucking acid. He'd stick acid in his fucking headband and wait for it to kick in and then play shows.
Well, we don't know if that's a true story
those
or not.
People
would
take
apocryphal.
anything they were handed, though. That much we know.
I mean, could you
Certainly
imagine?
Jim Morrison, and he was hanging out with all these people. You know, they were all they were all out of their fucking minds. I mean, that's why they're gone. 40
well, they
years
all
counting.
died like what, 27?
27. All three that I just mentioned were 27.
What about
27 Club?
Yeah. What about your pick, Ron? Who? How old is he when he died?
Scott. I don't know. I feel like maybe
27.
early 30s.
Yeah, he was the lead
I feel
singer.
like he was in his
the lead
30s.
singer of Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains, wasn't it? Oh, it was Stone Temple. Yeah, I'm
How
thinking
dare
of.
you?
Yeah, my bad.
Wayne
What's the other one's
Stanley.
name? What's the other one's name?
The one
Lane
with Guns N'
Lane
Roses.
Stanley?
Revolt.
Lane
Oh,
Staley.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's a sad story. Lane's last days. But yeah, Weiland, I saw him live, and he looked pretty well. And then he was dead within 6 months, I think.
Okay, Ben.
Well,
All right.
I'm gonna go. I didn't.
You said
I'm gonna
Janis
go with
Joplin.
Wayne Staley.
You said Janis Joplin, dude.
No. I said I was wanting to go with Janis Joplin just because of all the
He's giving
drugs.
you the old Lyle switcheroo here.
It is the switcheroo. But I believe is it Wayne Staley? It's not.
Scott Weiland.
Wayne Staley.
Oh my God.
Wayne Staley.
Yeah,
That is an
fucking me
amazing
all up,
name for
man.
some.
I don't know my 90s anymore.
It's been too long.
I remember watching a big old documentary about him, and he was just a fucking dopehead. I mean,
Waylon?
everything he got
Weiland,
into. He got kicked out of the band like fucking a handful of times.
Yeah.
And wife left him, and fucking. He was, and I don't say he's a bad guy. You know, I don't. You know, I'm not saying for anybody, but like his wife kind of like final adieu. You know, like during the funeral was like, yeah, he was a piece of shit.
Jeez, what a way to go.
Like, wow.
Hmm.
So, and that always stuck in the back of my head, you know, about the guy. I mean, just because it was his family saying it.
Well, addiction can certainly, who knows, maybe he was just a piece of shit in general, but addiction can certainly make you a horrible human being. I mean, there's no question. You're a wounded animal.
And that's what it was about. It was about the drugs. It wasn't anything else. It wasn't his other behavior. It was the drugs.
Yeah.
Addiction.
So you're going with Weiland?
Well,
Is it
yeah.
Weiland or Weiland? Can we get a consensus on that?
I think it's Weiland.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Okay. Wayland Staten? What was the
Roman, gotta get a world gone.
Yeah, was never a fan, but I was still kind of bummed when he died. And it's like,
Wayne Staley.
Jesus, yeah, Wayne Staley. That sounds like somebody's name.
Okay,
the
Ben.
Wayne Staley died? Of course he did.
That was sad. 90s.
Yeah, Ron immediately talked me out of Sid Vicious, where I was originally thinking, and then I kind of want to go Scott with Ron and Lyle, but I kind of want to go with the Eddie Money trope.
Yes.
Oh, boy. I was close
so
to
you know
it.
what? I think
Do it.
I'm taking the Eddie Money.
There's no square things in nature.
Taking it up the Eddie money for the team.
I just saw a story online today explaining the digestive tract of, was it the wombat that poops square cubes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole explanation today.
Cursed wombat.
And they're square
Well,
poops.
I almost went with it too for a split second, especially because of Chris's caveat that he's not saying they died. And, you know, of course he died, but he could have had some sort of overdose before that.
Right.
Oh, motherfucker. These Eddie Money fucking herrings. The death of me.
You're just gonna have to watch documentaries about him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to up my Eddie Money fucking knowledge and just beat Chris at his own goddamn game. I'm just gonna subscribe. Eddie Money trivia, Eddie Money news. I just RSS every feed I can
It's a
find.
smart idea to set up a Google alert for Eddie Money stuff on there.
Chris just never fucking does it ever again.
Paradise. You better fucking set up some RSS, bitch.
Yeah.
All right. Question 1. According to a study done by the security firm Symantec, you are actually 3 times more likely to get a computer virus visiting a religious website than you are.
Oh Jesus!
I had a feeling.
I don't think anybody went with that, did they?
No, it was
Nope.
big.
No.
Rev.
That was my first instinct, but I was like, I don't know.
Mine too. I was right there.
I don't mind a whiff when it's across the board.
This listener submitted question was worth 2 points. Thank you again to Sarah Ray Shields for sending this out. Scientists in China believe they may have developed a new eco-friendly plastic that could be much less damaging to our environment. One of the key ingredients to this new plastic is salmon sperm.
Immediately in trap.
A little snippet.
Just wondering how that might be a thing that they could produce in mass quantities because salmon are kind of becoming endangered.
I didn't stop to do the Sarah Ray Shields math. It's like, why would I not go with the jizz answer here?
Let's see. 2 strands of DNA from the sperm were combined with a chemical from vegetable oil that binds them together. By
the way, I take that in the spirit in which it's intended. I'm not implying that Sarah Ray Shields is a jizz-centric human being.
I think
just she would absolutely be sending a jizz-related story.
The other thing too, that the reason why I went with that answer is because if it's salmon season right now, everybody's fishing salmon right now, and if you catch a female salmon, most of the time they're just full of eggs and they're huge.
Yeah,
and that's how they make egg roe. Is they put borat or whatever to borat. It's just salting that kind of dries out the eggs and use them for
never
bait.
Get fish.
So nice.
For bait. But it's such a huge. I mean, it's just the massive amount of eggs you get out of one fish is it's freaky. If you have never seen it, it's crazy.
Real quick here. What this creates is a squishy material known as hydrogel. From here, the gel is then molded into different shapes and freeze-dried to remove the moisture, which makes it solidify. They've already created cups, puzzle pieces, and a DNA molecule.
Hey, wouldn't it be better to be called hydrojizz?
Yeah, it would be.
What are they calling it? It's got to have some sort of unjizzy name.
I didn't see a catchy name yet. I'm sure it's there. Lyle got that correct, putting him on the board with a point. Excuse me. 2 points. 2 points.
Can I do it?
2 points. Sarah knows
that. It hurts.
Yeah.
All right.
Sarah knows her audience.
Yeah, she does. Question 3. Dolphins. It's true that dolphins will very frequently sleep with one eye open. They've taught themselves this to keep themselves awake against many predators that are coming after them.
Sure.
Maybe it's eye for an eye.
What if they switch?
They I don't know if they switch, but they turn a part of their brain off when they do this, and so they rest half their brain at a time. It's kind of funky.
Yeah, I remember like that part was in my head. I was like, well, I think that they only use half their brain when they're sleeping, but I was like, I don't know if the eye's connected to that or not. But yeah, I knew that something about that sounded familiar, but I couldn't quite put enough of it together to go for the guess.
Lyle,
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt here. That reminds me of this friend that I had. Lyle knows him. I won't say his name, but it's a dude that lived right up the street, and I would go hang out with him from time to time and play some Mario. He would sleep. No, not that guy. Little further down the street, but he would sleep. He would sleep with both eyes slightly open, and they would follow you. Like if you were in the room and you walked across, in front of him, he would follow you. And one time I walked in the room. He was expecting me, but he fell asleep, and so I walked into his bedroom, and I'm like, and I knew this at this point. I was like, oh, he's asleep. Fuck it, I'm just here to play some Mario 3 anyway. I go to grab the controller, and he's like, what are you doing? And he's looking at me through the tiniest slits of eyes, and I'm like, I'm just going to play Nintendo. Your grandpa said I could come. He lived with his grandparents. I'm like, you sleep? And I swear to God, he's like, uh-huh. And I just sat down and played, and he continued to snore.
That's
it was the weirdest fucking thing. He's like, he saw me come in, and I asked him about it later. He's like, did you see me come into your room? I was like, no. He was like, but I told you, I kind of fucking sleep like half. What are you doing? Oh my God, it still freaks me out.
So this is a shout out to any people that work at any kind of sea place, from Florida to Seattle. We got that stretch of the fan base. If you know of any actual dolphin rapists, not rapers of dolphins, dolphins that actually rape humans.
We'd love to get them on the show.
We had one email us years ago. Isn't that how we knew? Or maybe we just brought it as a story, or it came up on Werid Trivia way back in the day. But I know at one point somebody who specifically works at one of these places says, yeah, that's like, you guys are acting like you're just discovering this, but it's a well-known thing. And then, they said a lot of the mammals will do that, but dolphins are just notorious for just like, they come up against you and they just start getting it on.
Yeah, they start cuddling, and the next thing you know, they're humping you, and you can't get away.
Yeah, but if you do work in one of these facilities, or if you have been, it sounds like
if you want to
something
talk
they
about
put at the end of a Netflix documentary. Yeah, if you or somebody you love has been molested by a dolphin. I mean, we're joking, and I know that that's insensitive, but at the same time, this is like animal assault, and it happens. So if you've experienced it, I'm curious what that experience is like. Did you laugh it off? Was it traumatic? What was that experience like? Yeah, send us an email at radarstationart@gmail.com. Definitely love to talk to somebody that's experienced that. I mean, we've all had like a dog start humping our leg. I guess this is just like next level of that, like get the fuck off me.
Not until I'm finished.
What's their genitalia like is the real question.
Like a dolphin's? I don't know. Yeah. Good question.
The dolphin wiener look like?
I'm not. That's a different.
One of you looked at it. John Mark, look at it. I'm not looking anymore. Miscellaneous penis stuff up on my phone. No, not again.
Dolphin. You're going to hell, Ron.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'll
see y'all there.
Better go there than where everybody else is advertising they want to go.
Yeah. Our third podcast.
Most of the people going to heaven, I don't really want to spend eternity with.
Yeah, that's kind of my philosophy too. It's like, this is hell.
Okay, lastly, question 4. This famous musician was known for their partying lifestyle and sadly was the first person to OD on fentanyl in the United States. We were talking about Eddie fucking
God
money.
Damn it.
Way to go, Ben. Way to be bold, Ben.
Hey, yeah. I didn't get skunked.
I don't even know anymore. God.
Son of a motherfucking bitch.
Thank you, Christopher.
See, now I need to find a documentary.
That is the most pleased with himself laugh that Chris is giving us right now. Just, boom, bitch. No, am I just going to have to chase every... Well, if I can't have real money, I guess I'll have to settle for being showered, making it rain with my Eddie money up in here. I know way too much about this motherfucker. I better start listening to his music. So what's the story?
The real story, he OD'd in 80, I think, on barbiturates. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
And,
yes, you are.
That included fentanyl, and it fucked him up so bad he was unconscious for like 12 hours before somebody even found him.
Okay, so it's been around a while.
Yeah, he suffered for almost a whole year recovering from that. Like, he couldn't walk right or anything. So, the real story here, though, is that motherfucking Lyle, wins with 2 points here.
Wow.
John Mark got 1. Ron got 0 tonight.
Ooh. Well, if I'm gonna lose.
No, he got. Didn't he get one eye open?
Oh yeah, I did get one. I got one eye open.
Oh, you did get one eye. There you go.
But you robbed me of my one eye.
In fact,
I thought, you did. You did one.
Did John Mark get skunked?
No, he got one. He got antivirus.
I got 1.
Oh, yeah, the one. Sorry.
No, wait, I didn't get that. It was related. Did I get 0?
Yeah, he got skunked.
Oh shit!
It is.
Yeah,
weird.
this is the game. I come in and you say you follow the one who's leading, and he was leading everybody astray.
You never know.
Yeah, I had you down at question 3. You didn't. You got. I thought you went with.
I thought you went with Wyland.
No.
No, I went with 500 miles.
Right, you did with.
I went with Sid Vicious.
Oh, I guess either one.
Did get.
I did better than John Mark. This is
there you
epic
go.
Game for me. And
now see, people used to revel in beating me. It makes way more sense in beating John Mark.
How the mighty have fallen.
That's the real trophy.
Having been experienced with you as playing on my behalf,
Hey, Whiskey Ron didn't even show up tonight. I'm only a couple beers into it. But
that's maybe why you beat John Mark. Ugh. I'm one cider in and I can't even speak straight anymore.
Well, congratulations, Lyle, back on top. He ruled the night. smashed your asses in a round of Eliminaysh and took it home with a little weird.
Can I do it real quick?
You got to do a celebratory.
All-time winner! Winner time!
It does sound like it's saying wiener.
Yeah, definitely wiener.
So I'm going to leave you. I'm glad that echoed.
Winner time.
Oh, now I might have to make that the stinger and just echo and echo and echo and echo.
Let's just let it go.
All-time wiener. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Ben. That was a much-needed good time after some heaviness at the beginning of the show, which I guess you'll hear when you hear the podcast. But thanks for coming back. Thanks for being one of 9 people that continue to offer us feedback. It's the damnedest thing. Our emails are so... I mean, for us, it's on fire. We've had a couple episodes hit the 1,000 mark for the first time in a long time. We usually hover around between 300 and 500 that first week, and then inching toward 1,000 all time. But downloads are on fire. The feedback, for anyone listening, we do have more than 10 listeners. It's just the funniest thing. A lot of people don't want to interact with us. Maybe we just need to find a better way for them. Although, I mean, how hard is email? It's pretty universal, I think.
Been around for
honestly,
but we are so appreciative of the people that do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was cutting you in. I was thinking my spot. I was gonna say is, I know other pods, like, in fact, I got onto you guys when Christopher went on the Seahawkers pod, and they're posting just audio on YouTube, and I know they get comments from that, and bigger audience, maybe an opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, I think our episodes all go to YouTube. I think it's automatic.
They used to.
Oh, they don't anymore?
Well, I used to upload them manually. I used to make videos.
Okay.
I haven't been doing that for a long time because my computer died. But we didn't really I didn't see any real traction from any of that stuff. Like
except for one episode.
Except for one.
Which I haven't checked in a while. That's the gift that keeps on giving, the Jason Quit episode that has something like 30 or 40,000 views and quite a few comments about that smarmy host that thinks he's so funny.
I mean, if I had a computer that worked, I would probably still do that, just because, like, at this point, like, why the fuck not? Like, why not get it out there? But
yeah,
I didn't realize that was the case back in the day. At some point, so
it was at some point, and I think maybe we got a few comments here and there, but yeah,
mostly it's like, why do these guys swear so much?
Yeah, it was nothing but mock. And, a few people defending us and defending me. It was mostly an attack on me specifically, but that's still one of our most downloaded episodes. And, that dude, Jason Quit, had done so many interviews. He was on Coast to Coast AM. He was on all these big podcasts and big shows. He got all those other interviews. He told us on the show that, this was unlike anything he'd ever done, and he'd had a good time. So... And before every fucking show, you get a warning. Yeah, there's going to be some R-rated shit here. So I don't get why everyone was so upset by that. But it is fascinating. I'll have to get on and see. I do love reading some of those comments. They're so fucking harsh. The first few kind of hurt my feelings, and then I was like, this is fucking hilarious. It's like, what show were you even trying to listen to? But that was a great one. I'll have to rerun that. Maybe we can get that fury going all over again. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Ben. We appreciate all your support and all your feedback.
Always a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, thanks. And we'll talk about that painting soon. TikTok.
Close to the end of the month, if you know what I'm saying.
That's true. Things are getting a little tight. All right. Well, what do you think, Chris? Should we get on out of here? We're at the 2-hour mark. We're past 8. Why don't we save? Yeah. We'll structure the next show. We might get one more show in before I have to do some comment stuff, and then we'll definitely have to miss a week after that. But if we're here next week, we'll structure it so that we end on some Stranger Things and we got more room to breathe.
Word.
And on that note, take care of yourselves and each other, and do be safe out there best you can. You just never know what's around the corner. And it's just a good reminder, if nothing else, to I think the post that the bar made, tell me if this is an overshare, because it is sort of an identifier, I guess, to some degree, but the bar posted, we're going to be closed for a couple of days. They didn't specify why, but they ended it with, be excellent to each other. And I thought, yeah, that's a good note to end on. Just be good to each other, because this is all temporary, and you just never fucking know. On that note, tune in next week. We will be talking about 9/11 and hopefully a little bit of Stranger Things. So tune in then. See y'all.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye. Later.
All-time winner!